afternoon, Vallejo. I am Deborah Dickson, the host of Our Voices, and I am so delighted to be back taping this show. We here at the VCAT studios have been unavailable due to the pandemic for the last couple of years, and so we've been running some old shows, and I hear many of you have been enjoying some of the older shows. Today as my guest I am absolutely honored to have as my guest Dr. LaTyna Wade, who is the trustee for the Vallejo City Unified School District. She has just won her second term, and welcome, Dr. Young.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so delighted that you're here. We're going to talk a little bit. Dr. Young and I personally know one another, and we have been friends for a number of years.
Yes,
and so we just thought we would have this little conversation about Dr. Young's storied and honored career as an educator here in Solano County and the Vallejo area. Dr. Young, you were born here in Vallejo, or you were raised here in Vallejo?
I was born here in Vallejo, at Vallejo General on Tennessee Street.
Oh my God, that takes us back. That takes us both back. I was born at Kaiser, the old Kaiser, where you went up the wooden stairs.
No, I was born at Vallejo General.
Oh my goodness,
Street.
I love that. I love the fact that we've been here and we've seen some immense changes that happened in this town.
Yes,
I think that as we were growing up, it was maybe 26,000 people, somewhere along in that range, and now I believe we have over 120,000 people that call beautiful Vallejo their home. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your career and your educational background. I know that we graduated from Vallejo Senior High School in whatever year that was, and we both have worked on our high school class reunions for what, the last five reunions I think we've worked on?
The last five.
The last five reunions we've worked on. It could be, yeah, because we've always had fun putting them on and dancing and making new acquaintances with our classmates. So let me ask you, what were your aspirations when we graduated at that time? What were you planning on doing? What did you think about doing?
Well, I've always been focused on education. So I can relate back to one of our classmates. She's over the rainbow now, but anyway, she shared one class reunion, the yearbook and what I put in there. And I put in there that I was going to graduate, that I was going to go to UC Davis, that I was going to get a teacher credential, I was going to come back to Vallejo, and I was going to be a teacher, a principal, a vice principal, and whatever else.
And you did all of that?
Plus, yes,
all of that in addition to that. Now, having those types of aspirations at such a young and tender age, and just to know that, to give someone out there, especially some young girls, that you can do all of these things that you think about in your mind and things that you project, you're able to do those things once you do what, Dr. Young? What?
You know, you always set a goal.
Yes.
You always set a goal. You always have a vision. But I was lucky. My mother was an ex-teacher in Bastrop, Louisiana.
Okay.
And she always strived education.
Yeah.
My father was also that way. He made sure that everybody was focused on education, and it wasn't all right not to. And the surroundings of my older cousins, they all went to historical black colleges, Southern, Grambling, and I was always exposed to that camaraderie too.
Yeah. Yes.
So I've always been immersed in that aspect, and I always had a vision that I was going to be a role model when I came back.
You are. I can say that my dearly departed husband was such a big fan of yours, and as you know, he adored you. And we were having a conversation in my backyard about you, and he said, "You know what?" He said, "Who better than you?" Who were educated in Vallejo public schools, right? You know, and I'm not knocking any other schools, charter schools or private schools or anything of that nature, but I'm just saying, you went to Vallejo public schools, you went away, completed number one of your goals, which was to go to UC Davis. And then number two, you came back as a teacher. Talk to me a little bit about what your aspirations were at that time coming back as a teacher after you had graduated from UC Davis.
Well, first of all, when I came back, I don't know if anybody knows this, but anyway, it was 1972, and I was assigned to Pennycook Elementary. And I always share this with everybody, but I was the first black teacher that those children had
ever seen.
Okay. And I had several of them, and I became very good friends with their parents. But I asked one of one of the students' parents, why was he always rubbing my hand? And she said, because she thinks he's going to turn white.
Okay.
I said, oh my God.
Yes.
I said, well, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And we laughed.
Right.
We laughed about that. So, yeah, that was an experience.
But that exposure to for those children, I know that it made an impact in their lives because you are such a astute teacher. You're a teacher that really tries to get and reach people at where they are. And so to start off at elementary school, which is that most vulnerable age, and to be able to make an impact with young children at that point. And then you moved on to middle school, or did you go directly into high school?
No, what my pathway was this. I was in elementary for 15 years.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I got the opportunity to do administrative levels. So then I had to go back and get my administrative credential and a master's.
Okay.
So I did that in order to be a coordinator of summer school.
Oh.
And that was at the high school. At that time, we were having summer schools at all K through 12.
Okay.
So I was over all that for several years. Prior to that, I was principal of the high schools, summer schools. So in doing that, I saw another calling.
Yes.
In order to make a difference, I was going to have to go to a different level. And in order to make that level, I was going to have to get a different mindset and different credentials in order to tap into that.
Different how? In what level? In terms of the teaching elementary school, or having more of an administrative background?
You have to have a better knowledge of administration.
Okay.
So I went to UC Berkeley and got my administrator credential, and then I said, okay, I have that, but I need to dive a little bit deeper. So I decided that I was going to go get my counseling. I have a master's in counseling and early childhood education. So I utilized that in order to make sure that I was fully aware of the spectrum I was dealing with.
Yes.
So in doing that, I started seeing where I can make a difference.
Okay.
As I went up.
Absolutely making a difference in terms.
And I use, as a coordinator, I use the summer school program.
Okay.
As a academy for aspiring administrators. They got the opportunity to actually run the summer school.
I see. Was that something new that you had come up with, or was that something that was just part of the process or part of the procedure?
It was new because I intentionally did it.
Okay.
So it might have been part of the process, but I intentionally did it in order to mentor some of the minority teachers that were coming up.
Yeah. Yes.
They had aspirations of being administrators.
Yes.
So
and
I
not
did
everybody
that.
could head back and go back.
I wanted to pull back and
Yes.
pull up because
Yes.
I knew that they were dedicated to Vallejo City Unified School District.
Yes.
And what more resourceful is to groom our own.
Yes, yes, yes. That sounds so wonderful. And as a parent, going to the schools and being a part of the schools. When my children were young, unfortunately, I had to work in San Francisco, so I didn't get the opportunity to participate. But I was blessed to raise 2 grandkids, which put me right smack dab in the center of Vallejo and Vallejo City Unified School District. And I was absolutely delighted with my tenure there. I was a school site chair. I worked with one of our recently elected city council members at the Vallejo Senior High School. So now, having that type of background, and as my husband liked to say about you, who better than you to make policy for our children? See, so now you've come in, you've got these babies, and you've hugged and you've loved and you've taught on these babies, and then you move to the next level in terms of embracing and encompassing teachers to help them along their path of administration, and then you went even higher. Talk to me about that.
So we were unfortunate to go into state takeover, financial difficulty and stuff like that, and so we had to take out a $60 million
loan from the state.
From
Yes.
the state.
I remember that.
Yes. So in that process, we were assigned a state administrator.
Uh-huh.
And so at that particular time, he was making new policies and procedures. So he happened to come to my, I was principal at People's High School at that particular time, and he came to me and said, LaTyna, do you have any aspirations of going downtown to the district office? I say, no, sir, not at all.
Yes.
I'm happy right here
Yes.
with my children.
With my children, right.
With my children at People's High School, which is now John Finney.
John Finney, yes.
I'm very happy with this population. So he let me alone for a little while. So in graduation the next time, he came and said, well, what do you think about? I said, think about what? Dr. D'Amelio, think about what? What I said about coming downtown. I said, well, okay. No.
Yeah.
I like it on site.
But no,
I like it on site. So he told me that it wasn't an option. So that's how I came into building structures.
Yes.
I was assigned director of student support services, and during that I had I had to develop student support services in order to make sure that it reached the students and the community, because there wasn't a set process.
Tell me about what that encompasses, because for our audience out there, they may not know what that means.
Student support services is responsible for making sure that you have equity in your suspensions process.
Okay.
And I had to build manuals that reflected that. That had to be.
That's very important.
That had to be utilized by the district. We also did a matrix of interventions before it came to suspension.
Okay.
And then after suspension, everybody had to be on the same page.
Yeah.
You couldn't be going out there doing your own thing, because Ed Code is your roadmap.
Yes. Okay.
So those were put in place. The manuals were put in place. SARBs manuals were put in place.
And SARBs, what is that?
SARB is when you, it's your attendance.
Oh, okay, okay.
Attendance manuals.
Okay.
And what process you have to go through before you can actually bring them up.
Okay.
No, you bring them up before a panel.
Okay.
To see whether they what other help we as a school district can give them in order for them to get to school.
Okay.
So I developed that. And in the process of developing that, that was the topic of my dissertation for my doctorate,
Okay.
developing infrastructures for urban schools.
Okay. And
So we
urban is a euphemism
Yes,
for,
Yeah.
for
a school district like ours.
yes, where we have a majority of children that receive free lunches,
Right.
right? We have a majority of our children that are of a minority. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so having to build these processes and these manuals meant that you had to study what had been done prior to that, if anything, and then come up with a plan and a procedure to do that. Is that correct?
Accountability.
Accountability. Okay. All right.
The pathway was already there with Ed Code.
Okay.
The procedures and the way it was administrated or not administrated
Okay.
was not in place.
Okay.
You had to do the check and balance. I had to do the check and balance.
Yes.
And I was very grateful to have a lovely team, Dr. Sheen and Dr. Norris and Dr. I can't think of her name right now.
Okay.
but
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, you had a team.
I had a team.
And that team was focused on how to implement these procedures, these manuals.
They were held accountable of making them come to vision.
Okay, all right. Okay, well.
With SART workers, all those workers that were put in place, I had a matrix.
Yeah, because this support, as a matter of fact, I think I'm probably still on the board at Solano Middle School where I was part of that support team out there as a parent. And so there are so many things that, parents have to go through in terms of getting their kid to school. Like for me, working in San Francisco, I left when it was dark and I came back home when it was dark. And so I had to depend on the teachers to keep me updated about what was going on with my particular child. And I always tried to make some time to come and chat with the teachers to let them know that even though I wasn't on campus, that I was available. And I'm hopeful that we still have parents that do that. What is your take on that now?
Well, I think the parents are actively involved
Okay.
with their children.
Okay.
Not as much as they could be.
Yes.
Because, we just have them for a certain amount of time.
That's right.
We can do everything that we can right then and there. But when they go home, sometimes what we've done has undone.
Got to have that follow-up. You got to be able
to have that follow-up.
You have to be able to all be on the same page, as you said. If we're all on the same page, then that means that my kid is going to get the very best out of you and out of your teachers and out of the advisors and out of the support staff, because you know that you could reach out to me as that parent and say, hey, this is happening, and what are we going to do about it? I love the fact that you said that there was a matrix, so that meant that there is a whole host of things interventions that you use prior to saying, okay, that's it, you're out of here.
Yeah, you have to have those things in place. You can't just suspend. And there's certain ed codes that have been eliminated, and they have been made known that this is not how you use this ed code. So that eliminated a whole lot of suspensions.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
It's not your interpretation.
It's not your interpretation because, I didn't like the way he talked to me. And let me tell you, these kids can be real mouthy. I'll tell you a quick story about my granddaughter at Solano, and Dr. Edison Kelly He was the vice principal there at the time. And he called me in, he said, Miss Dickson, and she has said this to my child would not say that to that teacher. Come to find out, my child did say that to that teacher, and so I had to apologize to Mr. Kelly, to Dr. Kelly now. I can call him Doctor now, and he loves to tell the story that I taught him how to talk to parents, because when I came into the office, he was busy, he was overwhelmed as vice principals and principals are, and a whole bunch of different things. And then he pointed at me and said, I was like, are you talking to me? And so luckily, as I told him, I know your mama, okay? So don't make me call your mother. And he was like, so he loves telling that story. He said, Miss Dickson taught me how to talk to parents. Even though I'm overwhelmed with all of these different things, everybody's pulling at me. When I have a parent come into my office, I have to show them the proper restraint and respect. And so we laugh about that all the time now.
And that's very important.
Yes.
That's very important that you know how to address the clientele that you're dealing with.
Yes.
I remember incidents at People's, John Finney now, that I was called every name.
Except your name.
Except my name. But I would always let them finish.
Yes.
And I said, excuse me, now that you're finished, don't let those degrees fool you.
That's right. That's right.
I said, you need to calm yourself down.
Calm down.
And then we'll have a decent conversation.
We can have a conversation. We can talk it out, okay? The other part that my husband would say about you was that you had all of this background, and he loved telling the story about your dad running away, running away his cousin, because he was like, no, you're not dating her. No, that's out. But he said, who better than you, who have done this, been through this Bible study, not Bible study, but been through all the class, excuse me. I got distracted for a minute, but you do have Bible study.
Yes, I do.
I know you do. But that who better than you? So now that you have are completing your second term of the school board, tell me what aspirations, what do you hope to accomplish with this term?
Well, the first term, we put together, I had never, when I came to that, being a trustee, didn't have a strategic plan.
Wow.
We didn't have a strategic plan, and I said, well, this is something that we're going to have to work on. So we worked on a strategic plan.
Yes.
And it was launched in 2022.
Okay.
And it's dealing with our vision.
Yes.
It's dealing with our mission and what we expect of our students and our employees.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
We're holding them accountable. The core belief and value we have also.
Yes.
We have pillars of equity and opportunities. We have career advancements. All these things have been put in place. And I'm very proud of it.
That's
because
fabulous.
We are holding, as a board, everybody accountable for making sure that our children have the best educational experience in order to be out there in the competitive world.
Yes.
It's very important that they feel that they can compete.
Yes.
And with these pillars and this portrait of a VCUS graduate,
Yes.
they can feel like they are somebody.
They can walk with their heads held high.
With their heads up.
I love that. And I love the fact that because you saw a need about a strategic plan, that's how your brain works, knowing you. I know it, you're like, wait a minute. How can I
district run?
How can I do this without having a plan in front of me, a strategic plan that is not only good for now, but is going to be good in the future? Not to say that we won't need to tweak it, not to say that we won't need to update it, because things change.
It's a living document.
I love that.
It's a living document. It has to be a living document in order for it to work for anybody. things change. You have to monitor and adjust your strategic plan in order to fit the needs of what your adversity is. So our board is a governing mindset. We've been trained that we look at, is it good for kids?
Okay, all right.
Is it good for kids? We don't have no hidden agenda about us.
Right.
Is it good for kids? And I'll rein them in a minute.
Yeah. I know
Okay,
you
is
will.
this good for kids?
Yes, yes.
Because if it's not good for kids, we need to move on.
Why would we even bother with
Why would
talking
we
about
even
it?
bother to talk about?
Yeah.
If you notice on our agenda board, all of our agenda items are key to our pillars.
Okay.
They have to, if they hit the agenda item, they have to have what they are substantially going to.
What they expect for the outcomes.
What I expect for the outcome.
Equitable opportunities, equitable outcomes. Yes. I love that. How do you get that? How do you get a copy of that? Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Because I would love to not only look at it, but to be able to share this with folks that I know in my network. Because all you hear is negativities about the Vallejo City Unified School District. And this is good stuff right here. This is good stuff.
I put that in all the open houses.
Okay.
In the community. I put that in all the real estate places.
I love
because
that.
they can't have a second dialogue about our school district, and they trying to sell a house.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I was at a meeting with you once, and there were some real estate people there, and that was the first thing that came out of your mouth. Well, we have a strategic plan. Do you know about our strategic plan? As you're talking about selling real estate to families, do you know what this is all about? And to see the look of surprise on the faces of the people was like, oh gosh, you actually do. This is just really incredible. Well, listen, this has just been the most wonderful conversation. It
has.
I am so happy that my very first show coming back, I would have not only my dear heart friend, but this most educated black woman to sit next to me and be able to talk about all of the things that are going on at the Vallejo City Unified School District. And so for all of you out here in Vallejo who live here, who have children here, who work and who play here, know and understand that you have a champion in Dr. Young, who is always going to put your kids' needs first, always going to be thinking about what is best for your child. And so all of you that are out there that have children, make sure that you reach out and that you be a part of and that you know exactly what's going on. If you want to get a copy of this strategic plan, they're very, very simple to get. You can please come down to the school board meetings, which are on the third Wednesdays, is it? The second Wednesdays?
First and second.
The first
and third.
The first and third Wednesdays. I spent many days sitting in those hard seats down there. And I just want to thank you for taking time out of your really busy schedule to come and share some of your thoughts and some of your plans with us.
Okay, I hope you. This is what I've guided my life to by John Lewis.
Yes.
If you see something, say something.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. Don't let it continue. So I'm an advocate. If I see something, I'm gonna say something.
That's for sure. And anybody that knows you will know that that is exactly what's gonna happen.
I will be politically correct. I will be professionally correct. But I will tell you that it's not like that.
Yes.
It's not like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank you. I appreciate you taking this time to join me, Deborah Dickson, in my inaugural version of Our Voices. And we will appreciate our school board members and all of our students. We're going to do everything that we can to help them be the successful citizens that we know them to be. So thank you, Dr. Young, very much for being on my show today. I appreciate you. And I'm going to sign off now. Thank you. This is Deborah. Have a great day. Thank you.